Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
I never meant to be so bad to you. One thing I said that I would never do. A look from you and I would fall from grace, and that would wipe the smile right from my face.
My enemies' walls are bound to crumble, and to the floor their spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll fight them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name. I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No mountain that rise up inside, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, I will conquer, I will conquer, conquer. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer, conquer. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of years. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my prayer. Fire upon all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chains. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David turns some to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people commit it up, pass me the Congo, Jama, let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it so no weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No mountain that rise against us, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer.
Good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, Pity, Martinique, and wherever else you are around the world. You are live or listening to us live on Hard Talk Grenada. We are coming to you via several radio stations: City Sound 97.5, Real FM out there in St. Patrick's 91.9 and 91.5. CRFM 89.5 from right here in St. George's. Sisters, which is coming to you live from Hillsborough, Carriacou, 92.9. And We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York, 94.9. We're also live on the World Wide Web. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and or Facebook. Join the talk, the NNP Hard Talk. For callers who would like to reach us locally, our number is 440-7377. Please take a note, 440-7377. And if you are going to be calling from the diaspora, from overseas, it's 347-329-3101. 347-329-3101. Today is Monday. It's a wonderful day. It is the start of the working week for many of us. And I do hope really that we had a good weekend. A weekend where we had rest, a weekend for relaxation, a weekend for rejuvenation, where many of the things that had caused you to become really tired over last week. You had a chance to shake it out. You went to the beach. You just had a little fun with the family. You went to church, late Saturday or Sunday, or something that just helped to bring your spirit back so you can produce for this week once again like you ought to. For those who are celebrating, I want to say happy Monday celebrations to you, whether it's your birthday, it's your anniversary, it's, some other kind of celebration that you're having. Your son or your daughter may have achieved something. A family member might be doing something big. It's the date when you first went into your new house. Whatever it is that calls for a celebration, I tell you, go right ahead and do that. Be grateful for what you have, while you continue to strive and push forward for what you don't have. To our friends out there in the US, it was an active week for you. You had actual voting or polling day taking place last Tuesday, and then you had a really stiff fight. Well, President Trump, I think now the writing, probably they rub it off from the wall already, but you have really got it now. You know for a fact that you have lost. There have been some little controversies based on the news that you're saying you're not giving up. Well, I think over time, you let better judgment prevail and you will do the correct thing. Just quietly walk out. Yes, if you think that there are areas where you can challenge, so you must do. It is your right so to do. I say congratulations to all the winners, Mr. Joe Biden and all his supporters. That was a turnout. So really a lot of people voted, over 170 million people, probably participated in the process. I think it's history in the making. It may be the first time that they've seen so many people turn out in a presidential election. But be that as it may, we continue to listen, we continue to look, we continue to use every moment as a teachable moment for us, while the system may be slightly different to that of ours, where we practice Westminster-style democracy and parliamentary proceedings here in Grenada, and the U.S. is a little different. I think there are many lessons for many of us to learn, whether we are just an ordinary constituent who is casting a vote or whether we are vying for votes. There are some lessons from the U.S. election. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they too had their elections last week. The Honorable Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves and I think it's ULP, the name of his party. They have retained the governance, 9-6, 9 of the 15 seats going to the ruling party and the other 6 to the opposition. Again, whether you are an opposition or you are a government minister, a representative, I say congratulations to all the winners. And there again, there are lessons to be learned. Learned from those who have lost, learned from those who have won, and there are reasons why some people won and some people lost. I think what we need to all do is sit, look at it, analyze it, and determine how we do what we have to do when our time comes here in Grenada. My friends, I say, when you are listening to Hard Talk, you need to call your friend, call your neighbor. Let them know that Hard Talk is on your radio. Or if you are listening virtually, let them know where you can get it. Give them the digits. WhatsApp, you can call, or you can check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, or on Facebook. We are available there. Plus, there are several other radio stations that you can tune in. 97.5 City Sound, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 89.5 CRFM, Sister Isles out of Hillsborough in Carriacou, 92.9, and of course, We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. I want to hit up very early this morning, Miss Bernadette out there, yes, and several others out of Tivoli. Miss McLean and Norma and all the others, you keep reminding me that I don't ever say hello to you all. Well, good morning and happy week. Happy Monday morning. I hope that your day has started really good, all of you. There are those in La Poetry too who say to me that we listen, Figgy, I know you told me last time, but I wanted to call you, calling people names and you ain't calling mine. And that's why I don't want to call names. I have friends in Carriacou and friends in St. George's. That's my good friend out there who works by Bryden and Miners. I think we call them Bergby down there on the Morris Bishop Highway. I want to say pleasant day to you too. Good morning. And wherever else you are, my good friend out there from St. David's, who is a member of staff on Carriacou. You all always tell me, man, we listen, so give us a little head up. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I say very pleasant morning to you. And I hope that today's journey with us will be one that will be informative, that will be entertaining, that will be productive for all of you. And feel free to be part of the conversation. Feel free to join us. Whether you're a first-time caller or not, we will accept your call. We say whatever you want to talk about, Hard Talk is the place where you can raise your issues. Whatever you want to complain about, Hard Talk is a place where you can do so. All we urge you to do is to be respectable, to be careful when you are speaking about someone else. Do not say things about people that are not factual, and do not come on the radio with anything if you have not verified. Because we want to be responsible, we want to be factual, we want to give information, good or bad, but we want to be factual about it. And so I urge you to participate, to join us, to call us 440-7377 if you're calling locally, 347-329-3101 if you're calling from the diaspora. And of course, you can send your messages via the World Wide Web, or you can also do that via WhatsApp. We do accept messages on WhatsApp and WhatsApp call. You use the same number, 440-7377 for our WhatsApp. Just before we get into part of what our discussion will be today, I want to make sure that I do that because we were asked if it is possible for us to do such for the Ministry of Health. And I just want to read something coming out of the senior environmental health officer. And the subject is fogging schedule for the 9th of November to the 13th November, which means from today, Monday, to the 13th, which will be Friday. So this is to inform you that the Vector Control Division of the Ministry of Health will be conducting fogging operations on the following days and in the following areas in an effort to reduce the incidence of dengue fever that is currently on the rise. So what they're saying here, that dengue is on the rise in Grenada, and they're trying some things by the fogging operations to see if they can reduce the incidence. That will help them to complement the surveillance on the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the mosquito that actually causes dengue fever, plus several other things. We know about Zika and chikungunya. It's the same mosquito. The schedule for fogging program for November 9th to 13th goes like that. On Monday, the 9th November, they will be doing the Bocas and Petersfield, and that starts from 4 p.m. So the people out there, be prepared on Monday from 4 p.m. That is today, Monday, the Bocas and Petersfield. Tomorrow, God willing, Tuesday, the 10th November, Upper Monjalu, and they start at 4 p.m. again. Wednesday, the 11th November, Lower Monjalu from 4 p.m. Thursday, 12th November, Cafe Springs area from 4 p.m. And on Friday, 13th November, they will be doing Springs, Dixie area from 4 p.m. So people in those areas, be prepared. Know the days when they are coming. Those who have problems, breathing problems, they're asthmatic or what have you, either very early you close up and you stay inside with a fan or something on, or probably you move out of the area for a little while the fogging is ongoing, because it's a lot of smoke and so on. It is just a way of helping to deal with the mosquito population, to get rid of or to reduce significantly. But fogging all by itself will not take care of that issue. We have to do our part as the citizens. We have to ensure that our containers that collect and store water on the outside, that they are covered. We have to make sure other utensils or other things that can catch water, that we make sure they don't, like flower pots. If they do, we change them regularly so that the mosquitoes, even if they lay, they would not get the opportunity to germinate and to make younger ones, that we change those water regularly, that pots and ponds and coconut shells, whatever have you, that may be able to collect bits of water, because the Aedes aegypti mosquito, anywhere, anything it can find, it doesn't matter what the utensil is, with a small bit of water sufficient to lay its egg, they will. Drains that are blocked and containing water, they will lay in that too. So you need to clean them. You need to ensure that the water can run. Even your guttering, if it's blocked, if there are debris, leaves that accumulate over time and it stores water, they will lay in that too. So we need to take a good look in and around our homes and see what are the potential places and the potential things that the mosquito can lay in, and take care of it. So one more time, so that those who did not hear us clearly, there will be fogging in the schedule for that from today, Monday, the 9th of November, the Bocas and Peterfield from 4 p.m. Tuesday, 10th November, Upper Monjalo from 4 p.m. Wednesday, 11th November, Lower Monjalo from 4 p.m. Thursday, 12th November, Cafe Springs area from 4 p.m. And Friday, where they did not complete in Springs, they will do that along with Dixie on Friday afternoon, and they all start at 4 p.m. So be prepared. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend if you know of someone who has asthmatic condition or who cannot accommodate well enough the smoke that will come from the fogging. Please let them know so they can make an alternative arrangement or find another place where they can be during the time of the fogging. So yes, that's it from the Ministry of Health. So friends, we have had a very eventful weekend. Long one. For me, it was a quiet one. I did spend a lot of time at home. I, took the time off to do a little gardening as well. On Saturday morning, I planted 2 little banks of potatoes, sweet potatoes. So I hope somewhere around, that should be about January, 7-8 weeks time, I should be getting a few little potatoes, I hope. As some people say, I hope my hand is good enough to bear. Because sometimes, for whatever reason, when it doesn't bear well, they say your hand ain't good. I do pray and hope that I have a good hand. And if I don't, for those who have good hands, that they will be willing to give me a few potatoes. I hope you did something, progressive or positive over the weekend. Maybe you didn't plant. Maybe you didn't go to church. Maybe you just stayed home and you reflected and you thought about your week and you thought about someone who upset your spirit and tried to steal your joy away. But you must forgive and forget, so the Bible says. So I hope you meditated and you will try to be different this week. Don't allow anyone to get under your skin, as we sometimes say, to cause you to become angry. Keep smiling, keep your beauty, keep your smile. Let the serotonin continue to be the good hormone that can keep you with a smiling face and a beautiful face all the time. Now, we have had news about 2 more cases, positive COVID-19 cases. I think that's now case number 30 and 31, I believe. I hope I have it correct. I think it's 30 and 31, based on what I have read. And it is 2 people who came out of the U.S., from my understanding. And they were home quarantine. Yes. It's a medical doctor and his wife who arrived in Grenada from the United States on Sunday, November 1st. Have been laboratory diagnosed by the Ministry of Health as Grenada 31st and 32nd. So it's not 30th and 31st. It's 31st and 32nd, for correction. But the discussion has been on radio and social media about the fact that these people, based on reports from the ministry, while they were meant to be home quarantine until the results came back to them, that they left the security and the safety and went beyond the walls of the homes. In fact, information is that they may have gone to as many as 4 different restaurants and bars or what have you, within the period that they should have been isolated. Now, in my mind, and I think in the mind of quite a few Grenadians, that is definitely a breach of the trust that the ministry and its officials had in them, allowing them to home quarantine. So you breach that trust. But more importantly, you have exposed now by the irrational action innocent people to become possibly contaminated or have them now compromised in such a manner that they may catch the virus. And I really do hope, I don't know, from the media report, one of the individuals, a couple, the gentleman, is a medical doctor from out of the US. So I believe by virtue of the fact that he's in the medical field, he would have some good understanding. He should have some knowledge, some insight into COVID-19, how it transmits, what are the signs and symptoms, and why it is necessary when you have it or just before you become assured of what your test result will say, that you keep yourself isolated until you have that information. Something that cannot be oversaid or overstressed, something that the minister, the ministry, the chief medical officer, and everyone associated with trying to control this COVID-19 virus have been saying repeatedly, that isolation, that quarantine is necessary. It is important. You cannot trivialize the effect of what can happen if someone who may have the sickness doesn't obey the protocol to a T and stay isolated, and opening up the possibility of, as I said, contaminating or possibly causing other innocent people's position to be compromised in such a manner that it's possible that they can catch the disease. The issue here is, in my opinion, and I'm giving my honest opinion now, or my opinion as honest as I can give, that I think the necessary arms of the law should come into play here. I believe that the arms of the law, where it concerns bringing charges against these people for having broken or breached the protocol, for stepping out of the confines of the homes where they were allowed, based on the request and the application, to be self-quarantined, and they have demonstrated blatantly that they did not want to, or they were unable to, and they stepped out of the confines of the home and went into public utilized places like restaurants and bars, are places where a lot of people frequent. Whether you stay in there and have your meals, or you purchase and leave, you take away, as we call it, but people always fluctuate those places, go in and out. And they didn't just go to one. They didn't confine themselves to going to one restaurant or one bar, and probably even if they wanted to use the excuse that they couldn't cook but had to go get food, it was not right still. It was not the correct thing to do. But at least one may be able to say, well, let's be a little more lenient with them. But the fact that it can be confirmed that they went to at least 4 different establishments before they receive the all clear from the ministry, before they receive the results of the PCR tests, before they were told, well, look, you have to be further isolated because you have, based on the tests, it's showing a positive that you have the virus, or you are negative, so now you are free to go somewhere. Without waiting for that, I honestly believe that they felt, like some other people before have felt, that they can come into Grenada and just do as they like. Maybe because of the position they hold, or because of the title behind their names, they think they don't have to respect the laws of this little country. And I honestly believe, and I hope that the minister and internally the police would see that as breaking of the law, and that they will follow the procedures based on the penalties that the law itself carries with it for not obeying and adhering to the protocols and the principles. I really feel bothered about that. Not so much about the fact that the ministry have allowed them to home quarantine, because the ministry expected, I guess, based on the application, and when they have done all that they're supposed to do, expected them to be quite responsible. But I think more and more we are seeing in a very blatant and open way that you just cannot trust people to leave them on their own and expect them to do the correct thing. It is showing us openly that once left alone, mankind, human being, is always tempted and most times will allow the temptation to overcome them to do what they should not be doing. Even though you have read all the rules and regulations to them 1,000 times, even though they agreed with you, even if they signed to the fact that we know we have to keep ourselves away from the public, that we have to quarantine on such time 3-4 days until the results of our tests is made available to us, until we get the all clear from the ministry. They will sign to that, they tell you all that, but the moment they get out of your sight, they start behaving differently and thinking differently. Now, there are penalties based on the law for people doing such things. And I believe it doesn't matter who it is. If you break the protocol, if you step out of line, if you do the wrong thing, you should be penalized so that others who may want to attempt such a thing would recognize that, hey, if I do, I can find myself in difficulty and in great trouble. It's really troubling. Every time, there is the possibility for community spread, every time one learns of an individual who was positive, and as you see, as we see in Grenada, there are mainly people who are coming to our shows, who are returning either from outside there or who are coming here to spend some time. And when they refuse to obey the rules that are put in place to continue to protect our Grenadian public, and it's not like we don't want them. We do want them. We do want tourists. We do want to open up the economy. We do want people to get back onto the job market. We do want people to start earning a living again and being able to take care of their bills, the necessary ones and that they have to take care of. They need to continue to send their children to school and pay their mortgage and do what have you. But while that is important and the government wants to push to have that happening, the preservation of lives is also that important. And I think we have a first caller already. We do. That's what my technical person is indicating to me. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, brother.
How are you?
Slightly disturbed, but I'm okay because I live in Grenada. It's
Great.
Paradise.
Yes, in paradise.
Of course. That's why they keep paying money to come here. So something you said, and I think we should address it. The fact that a doctor was allowed to home quarantine, it in itself is not a bad thing. Why? Because it's a doctor. One is expected a higher sense of responsibility from that person, accountability from that individual. However, because, as you stated, stupid is as stupid does, when we have an opportunity to be stupid, human nature, for history of man, has stated 99% of the times, we're probably going to choose stupid over sensical. So, if there's a way where we can be stupid, it's probably best to regulate that. I would advocate, and I've advocated before, no home quarantine for any individual coming into Grenada, whether national or non-national. That's the first step. Secondly, there should only be 4 actual quarantine places in Grenada, authorized quarantine places, 2 for non-nationals, 2 for nationals. Our brother suggested this morning, 2 of those places should be upscale, higher end, and 2 should be lower end, because not everyone has the same amount of money to afford certain things. Not everybody wants to be in a rich place or a quote-unquote not rich place. That way, anyone that's coming in, there's an expensive and a cheap non-national quarantine area and an expensive and a cheap national quarantine area. If you cannot go to those places, don't come to Grenada. We're trying to protect our citizens and you from something that will kill you and us. Mm-hmm. So if asking you to go to a designated quarantine area is not good enough, then you don't need to come to our country. Because of the incidents that has happened already with people breaking quarantine, we will now have to charge a little bit more for our quarantine, because I will advocate that we put officers at those 4 places 24 hours a day to make sure that no one leaves those areas. Those officers should be paid differently. They should be paid a little bit more. It should be a team of 2 sets of officers switching off, never going to regular places until that quarantine this thing is passed, if it's a year or two, give those officers a contract for 2 years. That's their job, making sure to keep security around this quarantine area. If, God forbid, they get sick, we'll make sure to take care of them. All these things could be in writing and done up. That way we have something that's easily understand. Anyone can see it. It's called foolproof, where we're not having to worry about, the doctor might break quarantine. Of all people on the planet, a doctor. As you said, if you went to one establishment, that's bad enough. But you went to 4. Now, if the doctor is willing to do that, what do you think the average Joe is going to do?
True.
Yeah?
Quite true.
A lot of us is complaining that it's the government this and the government that. The government cannot go to your house and tell you to not leave. I think that's one of the reasons that they put out that COVID bill. And I did not agree, and I will not agree with the government, not even the government, with police officers having the right to just come into my house without a warrant. However, I understand why it is that this thing was trying to be put out, because of things like this. We're trying to prevent people from infecting other people and killing us. We're a small nation. We're strapped to cash. Our healthcare system is literally strapped right now. It's very small.
Yes.
We can't handle huge cases of ventilator needs, people on respiratory, all these different things that comes with COVID. We cannot handle all of that in masse. So if we have 1 or 2, we may be able to handle it. Having people taking that opportunity to home quarantine and then abusing that and putting our citizens at risk, one, I think they should be charged with attempted murder. Why? Because if I went outside and did something that could potentially cause the lives of other people to be taken, I'd be charged. Reckless endangerment, involuntary manslaughter, whatever it is. I understand why the bill looked draconian as it may have looked. In hindsight, we were rushed. We're trying to get protection for our people and the people coming in. It'll be a good time to bring out such a thing again. However, change certain things that the masses did not agree with, like free access to your device, entering your home without warrants. These things people don't feel comfortable with. If we have full quarantine areas, we don't need that, because we know exactly where you are and we have access to those places. It's not your house. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting you.
There is a way to converse about this, and especially with these case number 25 and these 2 cases, to actually bring people's minds around to understanding why it is in a time of panic and crisis, we may need certain things that seem draconian for the moment. Even if that means we have to write into the bill, it's a temporary thing for 6 months or 3 months, and every 3 months we need to come back, we need to get people's approval, whatever the case is. But asking the government right now to come up with a pile of money to seek consultation to protect us from ourselves is really, really backwards. We shouldn't be doing that. Even though it may not be perfect, let's try to get something in writing where it gives the authority to actually act in our best interest, and not wait till we have 50 cases and then we're going, oh my God, what are we going to do now? Well, the government didn't protect us. And why the government didn't protect us? We have to understand the government of Grenada, and I've been saying this for a long time, is not 15 members in parliament. There's a name for those people. They're called representatives.
Yes.
Your representative is not you. You are the thing. You are the government. We are the government. We the people. We hire these individuals to represent us and protect us and serve us our best interests. Sometimes, in panic situations, they have to make these decisions without our consent. Whether they're right or wrong, these are the things that have to happen sometimes. As we have seen, and we have light of it, we can put input into this as we go. We don't need to wait 6 months to try to craft something. We could take the things that we agree with and put that in a bill right now and let that pass. And the other things that we didn't agree with, have consensus on that at a later date. But obviously, something has to be done.
Right.
The fact that people are home quarantined must be abolished. The fact that we have all these different quarantine places that obviously cannot secure their people must stop. The easy way would be to find 4 places and make those places quarantine places. And if people want to complain that, the government is being preferential and is playing favoritism, just point to the case number 25 and 30, 31 and 32, or 30 and 31. This is what we're trying to do. So if you feel we're playing favorites, I don't care. I'm sorry. Feel that way. but I'm trying to protect you.
Okay.
I think the government needs to start acting in a way that, regardless of whether or not you will keep your job, it's a thing you need to do.
Yes.
So do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people actually, they may not understand it in the next 2 years. But I guarantee you, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they're going to say, you know what? I'm glad this administration did what they did. It felt bad when they did it. That really hurt. But in hindsight, if they didn't do that, can you imagine what would have happened to us?
Of course.
Can you imagine where we would have been? This is a conversation we can have with our people, and I think our people is intelligent enough, perceptive enough to actually dialogue on this line of reasoning without being too emotional about it. I think the way we've been going about it is we're conversing too emotionally about a thing that we don't need emotion involved in.
Just intelligence.
You know, so I'm saddened that we have another 2 cases of breaking quarantine. However, I'm encouraged that it can be used as a teaching moment,
as a
learning moment for us.
I do agree with you on that. It's a teachable moment, and I do hope to see pretty soon that the COVID team, along with the ministry, will make some changes to the present regulations as they are, or the present procedures to better secure and to ensure that the minds of Grenadians can be at greater ease because of the changes that they would make. Some of what you've suggested on, modified cases in that instance, but I think your suggestions are absolutely good.
I hope that you could get these things into the ears of people that can actually make a difference, because honestly, we don't need to be, this is not a green, red, yellow, purple, blue issue.
Nope.
What's happening in Grenada right now is not a political issue. We don't need to politicize this.
Absolutely.
This is a health issue. It's a health issue concerning every single citizen of our country, whether you vote for a particular party or not. Whether you even vote, and to politicize it diminishes and takes away from an opportunity we have to actually grow our populace, to mature our populace, even if it's just in terms of conversing. We've been conversing about too many things in our country way too emotionally that has no need for that, and it colors the conversation where you can never really have a logical, quick, analytical conversation about a thing and move forward. It always ends up into this emotional gumbo stew where you're like, okay, so what do we do now? Just cuss at each other? Do we just holler and scream?
And then you drop the main issue, and then the main issue get dropped and slip through the crack and never dealt with.
Because we're always focusing on the emotion when what we should be focusing on is what happened, how did it happen, how can we prevent this from happening? Now that it's happened, what do we do with the thing that has happened? How can we use that moment to educate ourselves so that everyone now is aware how to prevent this from happening? And if we see it, stop it. That's where we should be at. And I think your program has an opportunity to do that. And I would like that you continue having that conversation along this particular line. Not necessarily that there's something you had mentioned that some people, I'm not sure if it's taken advantage, but it put onus on the individual as being almost nefarious, like they purposely wanted to do so. And I think a lot of people, in the eager to be home and our comfort, and the fact that, remember, if you told us don't go in the cookie jar, we're probably going to go there anyway. I think that has more to do with the breaking of quarantine than any nefarious, wickedness. Because you hear some people on social media, oh, they're wicked, they're this and that. It's not really that emotional. The person may just wanted to go outside and just relax. The reality is, though, as a doctor, you have a higher sense of responsibility and accountability to yourself and the public around you. And you're supposed to know better. It's like if I'm in charge of children and I abuse them, I get a higher penalty than one of the children abusing that child. Because I am a person in authority. You see what I mean? Just like if the police broke the law, the police should get a higher charge because the police knows better. He's the law.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Well,
so
understood.
We have this opportunity. Let's not waste this opportunity knee-jerk reacting, being emotional. Let's actually just sit down and have adult conversation about something that we can actually fix.
I agree with you, and I'm grateful for the comments you make. But may I just ask you one question? You have an accent as you live abroad and probably spend a lot of time in Grenada, and I hope I'm not misjudging you. Is it from the United States, if I should ask?
Yes, I've been back. I came back in 2012. I stopped going back in 2016, but it was America. The accent is from America.
Right. So I just wanted to ask you your views quickly. I mean, that's not the topic for discussion now, but during last week, there was some emotions running high in the U.S. After the presidential election completed on Tuesday, backward and forward, some people's heart got close to the mouth, wondering really what would happen. What's your take on it? What's your take on the results? How you feel about that, having lived in the U.S.?
Well, how much time you have?
I don't want to give you too much, but I just like to get your take on it.
I'll give you a quick. We need to understand the election that just happened. You need to go back to the Obama administration.
Yeah.
We have a misconception of America. America is a misogynistic country. America does not like women. America does not promote women. America will not, and that's one of the things I was trying to tell people when Hillary was running. America, the way America is, what we think of America is not America. That's the dream. The reality of America, and always been. Remember, white women didn't get the right to vote until black people did. Slaves. A white woman in America was not considered a person until a slave was considered a person. So think about that. Think about that. Your wife, your daughter, your child, your mother was a thing to you, was an object, a tool to trade, just like a slave. Think about that. So in America, we have a misconception of it. The election that just went on, imagine, people said Trump would be repudiated. People said Trump, his behavior and his this and that. So what they didn't understand is there's a good third of America that literally thinks and believes this as the word of God.
Yeah.
They don't like, excuse the French, the S-hole countries like we are. They don't like women. They don't like this thing where you see people of quote-unquote color making money and moving up in the social stratosphere. These things bother them. Trump is a misogynistic person. I lived in New York. Like, we all knew Trump. They know both of Trump that knows Trump. We know Trump was a failure, was a loser, was a broke con man. However, advertising is a beautiful thing, isn't it, brother?
Yes, it is.
Advertising made people like Britney Spears famous, and Britney Spears can't sing. And you have beautiful singers that'll never make it because they never had the right marketing gimmick.
Right.
So the election that just happened there, I'm glad it did, because the whole idea of being politically correct is a bunch of folly. We need to expose things. I'd rather know, I'm going to use a word that people may get offended by. I'd rather know, brother, that you think I'm a worthless nigger. I'd rather know that you think I am a deadbeat, I am a low class. I'd rather know this from you than to be sitting with you, eating and smiling and drinking with you, and in your heart, this is what you actually feel about me.
Right.
I want you to be comfortable to be able to tell me, hey, nigga, I don't like you. Can you stay over there? And I'll respect that, because I'll stay over on my side, you stay on your side. Right. Maybe one day we could meet on a different level. But obviously you have these feelings. Pretending that you don't have them is just causing people like Trump to get elected, because people will gravitate to these people when they see them, because that's what they want to see and hear. Acting like they don't, trying to degrade them and trying to shut them up is kind of like what happens here on talk radio in some corners, where when you call a radio station to espouse an opinion, if it's not the opinion of the host or who they're backing, you get shut down and denigrated. You get ridiculed. I was told one time here, I'm acting intelligent, putting on an accent. And I'm like, wait, I didn't know you can act intelligent. I thought if you had the ability to act intelligent, that made you intelligent. Okay. But maybe I'm missing something. The election of Donald Trump is a microcosm of what's happened in America. And it's, again, just like with what's going on with the COVID thing in Grenada, it's a learning experience where instead of us constantly pointing fingers and judging each other, we should actually try to have create an atmosphere where we can dialogue, so we can come to understanding. So I can know the brother over there don't really appreciate me because I look this way. I don't know why he doesn't do that, but now that I understand that, I can behave better so that we don't conflict all the time. And in doing so, maybe we'll come to some agreement where we go, you know what? I still don't understand why you do that, but I respect your ability to be you. long as you respect mine to be mine.
Great.
And I think that's the environment that Biden election is actually proving to people like positives better. It's easier to sustain a positive narrative. It's very, very hard and takes a lot of energy to continue to be negative all the time. So, in saying that, I'll wrap up by saying that election, it is like COVID. It's a way. It's almost like a reset. You can use the election and COVID to reset almost everything in our society right now, based on those two activities. I am fearful that we won't. I don't like to use the word, but I'll use it today. I'm hopeful that we'll take the opportunity to reset ourselves, reset how we talk, reset how we live, reset how we eat food, how we grow food, how we develop our societies, so that things like COVID and Donald Trump can affect us the way they have done over the last 4 years and the last 9 months.
Well, I thank you so much. I think you have explained yourself well enough. We're grateful for your call. Feel free anytime. We are on almost 5 days a week. I think tomorrow, I'm not sure we'd be on, because I'm hearing that it may be the Senate, the sitting of the Senate. I have to verify that before the end of the program. But thank you again. You don't always have to agree with the things that we say and we discuss, but it makes good when we can dialogue one with another. So I wish you a good day today.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Have a good one now. Be good. Thanks. And let me just use the opportunity at the same time to tell callers that the lines are now open. Oh, and we already have another caller. Hello, good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Bola.
How are you, dear?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very well this morning. Thank you.
All right. I miss sitting in that chair next to you. I miss being on the radio. But I see that you guys are doing a wonderful job. I'm really calling this morning because I'm at loss for words. I can't believe that we're having this exact same conversation all over again as it relates to personal responsibility in dealing with COVID-19. You know, if Saisha is still listening, that's the individual that just called earlier, I want to shake his big toe. Because...
Why not his hand?
No, his big toe. He deserves a shake on the big toe for that one. Because he put it in the most perfect way. The best explanation so far. You know, because he's absolutely right. At the end of the day, we can have a big discussion, a big argument about whose fault it is and who should have done better and who can do better. And we can point fingers left, right, and center. And we can jump and prance around the fact that something else has been done or that more security could have been given and all of that. But if we as Grenadians do not, at this point in time, come away from blaming government or blaming the 15 representatives or playing politics with a national health issue, we are going to find ourselves in a situation where people are going to feel empowered to come here and do what they want because Grenadians are going to support them. You know, I got the release last night and I was going through social media and I saw people making fun of it. I saw there were a large amount of people who were upset over the fact that these people did what they did. But then there were the few who are insistent on playing politics, who are insistent on saying that this is the government's fault, who are insistent on and consistent in saying that this is a downfall of the system that the government has created. No country in the world has gotten it right. But you know what makes the difference? When the people come together and understand their own role and their own responsibility in this fight against COVID-19, when we have people stop playing politics and making stupid videos and saying, oh, well, the government should have done this and the government should have done that, and not call out these people for the fact that they were irresponsible, unless we can be honest with ourselves and do that, we are going to be facing a bigger problem. Because you know what it's like sitting in another country and looking at your country, looking at Grenadians making all this noise, but the plans are not foolproof and all of this. And you, in your mind, you don't decide you ain't coming and spend no time in quarantine. And if you come and you do that, you have the support of the people. Because inadvertently, even though they don't say directly that they support these people in their actions, that is the message that they are sending when they behave the way that they behave. The message that they are sending is that you can come, man, come, do what you want, run away from quarantine. We will find a way to blame the government for it. That is what they are saying, ultimately. So we are to blame as well in the irresponsibility of these people when they come and they don't do what they're supposed to do. Because some of us feel that it is okay to not call them out, but to blame their actions on government. And I feel like I had to call and say this morning because it really does break my heart that at this point in time, after so many months, after looking at what is happening throughout the world, look, France is again, Germany again, back the UK again, back on lockdown. And we're talking about these first world countries who have some of the best medical practitioners, some of the best scientists, some of the best healthcare facilities have to lock their people down simply because the virus is more than they anticipated it to be. And we as a people, we sit down and we pretend that if we blame government enough, that
the virus will go away?
Yes, that it's going to make it better. Or that if we change from NNP to NDC, that the
where you going?
The virus and the effects of the virus would just change automatically because there's a different government in power. So we have to be very, very careful in what we are doing. I don't want to spend too long this morning, but I just felt like I needed to say that and to tell all of the listeners and viewers good morning, and I hope to be back with you, hopefully, on Monday.
Well, we thank you for that interjection. We thank you for your contribution, and of course, your seat is waiting.
Of course.
Someone is just occupying it momentarily or temporarily, and you're always welcome back. And stop telling people you miss sitting in the chair beside me. We don't sit beside each other. You don't sit in your chair and I don't sit in my chair. In the studio.
Wonderful day, Mr. Bola.
You be good to take care of your business and get back here soon. Get back here safe. Make sure that when you come with your negative test. That you have your negative PCR test. Have a good one. Take care now. Bye-bye. Yep, that was our host of the program, actually, Miss Duncan. Putting in our 2 pence, as we'd sometimes say, in our local palang, our local Grenadian slang. We have another caller already. Again, good morning and welcome.
Morning. How are everything?
Oh, we're good. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was excellent.
Wonderful.
Thank God for life.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Bola, I want to congratulate the government for continuing to demonstrate that care and love for the young people. 700 more young people will be empowered in the Imani job training. I want to congratulate the government for that. That's because in so many times young people, they need assistance. And this government is continuing to show that love for the young people. Because see, sometimes the young people, they want something, but they don't know what to do. And this government is continuing to do it for them. I will say kudos to the government for continuing to put the trust in the young people of Carriacou and Peter Martin, and the young people to be assured this government will never let them down. And not only young people, because if everyone in Grenada, the government will continue to empower them. Because in housing, some people, the way they live in the housing were not properly, but the government continues to give them a better home to live on the way they could feel more comfortable. I want to come back to this Iman, to the coronavirus. Listen to me live. Listen to me, young. The example, I want to say, the example are we setting for adults? What example are we setting? We sign a paper that years ago quarantine, but you break it. You're breaking what you signed. I know that it's like if you're working in a place and you're supposed to protect the place, and you go and do something that to rob the place, you shall face a great penalty. As someone that's a medical doctor knows better, he knows what he's supposed to do. I do believe full which you brought to bear on him because he knows better. He should set an example. Because see, if you love people and care about people, you go quarantine yourself. Stay where you have to be. Quarantine yourself to protect others. But when people don't love one another and don't really care about themselves, you don't care. They say, I have it, I have it, others go have it. But if you really care and love people, you say, well, me and my wife have it, my wife and I have it, so I don't want my children to get it. So then you go protect, you go stay away from the children. You go see them. Because many people went away for 5 or 6 months. They had a wife here, they had a wife, they had children here. They don't say what they call them. So if you come back in Grenada, and you have a family in Grenada, but you are here, so that in maybe 2 weeks, it's not a long time, they could give it okay. Yes, you are free to go back out in society. Right? But then when you break in, what you sign to, I do believe the full weight should be brought to bear on those who break it. Yes, some people might be in the situation to pay, but them who afford to pay, as the first caller said, it should have a different standard. Like the higher class in society, if it's 5,000 or 6,000 to pay and they could pay it. I do believe that. So, Mr. Bola, you are wonderful. God bless.
You take care too, and thank you for your contribution. We thank you for calling, and I do agree that, and I've said so in the beginning, that I believe that the law should take its course. I do not believe that anyone, by virtue of the status, the name, or the profession, should get away. I mean, COVID is really serious. Look at the United States. They are nearing, if they are not yet by today, 10 million cases. People who have contracted it. There are 200 plus, getting close to 250,000 people who have died from it. So we have another caller online. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, Mr. Bula.
Good morning, sir.
I want to say that I want to make a contribution.
Go right ahead.
I think personally that
just turn your radio down a little bit.
Yes, I want to agree with rulers like Putin, who rules Russia, and the Chinese president. If these two people has do that in China and Russia, all know that have been history. I think Grenada need to adopt some of these laws so then people will respect Grenada more. And even some of the locals who just be calling and who just be radio hosts and talking a pile of crap and they don't know what they're talking about. I think I thought that everybody needs to feel the full weight of the Grenadian people. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. I agree that we must all pay for our deeds and whatever we do wrong. I don't know if we want to stretch it to the point of extermination, getting rid of people. But I think the law has made provision for charges. The law gives way to the police, the prosecutor, and others. And I'm talking now about that section that deals with COVID, the Infectious Disease Control Act, I think. And I want to believe that these two individuals, that they should be looking seriously at putting, seeing where in the law they can charge them for what they have done. Because from my knowledge of what was said to us by the ministry, the way in which people are given. Yes, we have another caller. I'll continue my point later. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Hey, brother, I'm calling you back. I'm sorry I have to call back the show twice.
Yes.
But someone just made a comment about Putin and China.
Yes.
When the COVID bill was put forward, there seemed to be a unanimous cry in Grenada of draconian laws, dictatorial edicts, and stuff like that. The person that just called is supposedly saying that he is okay with draconian dictatorial rule. Remember when I first called you, I told you, and at the end I told you, we need to find a place where we remove ourselves from all these emotions and having emotional conversations. Mm-hmm. I think the brother that just called, and I understand where he's coming from. But that's why I said I think we need to step back a lot of the times and have more objective conversations than subjective ones. Because I think if I played that tape back to that same individual of what he said, I think he'd be bothered by what he said. I don't think sometimes we understand the magnitude or the gravity of what we're actually saying, because the emotion is so hot that it's okay to say it. Yeah. But this is not something that we should be talking and quoting people like Putin and that. I don't think again, it's human nature for us to do stupid things when we have the ability to do so. If that's the case, all we need to do is just regulate it a little bit better. Make it where the human does not have the opportunity to be stupid. Isolate them in quarantine of a government choosing, not of your own. Just think about what that person just said. He is okay with us having what is quoted to be some of the most draconian laws on the planet in the country. Wow.
That's why I said I don't know that we have to go that far. We need, but it's an opinion that some people share sometimes. As you correctly said, when emotions are running high, we speak out and without a lot of thought. But it's always best to take time. I think it's Barry who said count to 10 sometimes before we make a decision, because it gives us enough time to allow our intellect to retake control. Yes. And,
to actually process it.
Yeah, and not always.
That's why I said, as I said, this particular moment is a great moment for that COVID bill to come out, but using these things to discuss the actual bill and the merits of it and why it's needed. Not the things that we didn't like about it, but the things that actually can be added in there and corrected, and the things that was already in there that was preventative and protective of our country.
Yep.
Now is a really good time, especially because, as you can see, people's emotions are so much over the place. Something is needed to guide the emotion to that one spot. And that one spot is we need to be secure. We don't need to be draconian about it. We just need to be thoughtful. So that's my last piece. Thank you again.
Thank you. Yes, so the calls are coming in, and we do welcome them. We welcome your opinion. We won't all be in agreement of the same thing, but that's what discussions are for. That's what consultation is for. And there's another caller in. Good morning, caller. We welcome you. Thank you for calling.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
Very well.
Okay, why is this? It has to be a dictatorial law in a sense. You just go back and look. I think the major problem we have in here is lack of education, understanding. At the end of the day, like how you are, every institution, everywhere you go, you get people the proper representation, no matter what, across the board. And when that person holds a position, you speak like the late Morris Bishop. When he speaks, you listen. You know the reason why you listen? Because we speak on your terms and you understand exactly how we're speaking, so you can understand. So you have the education part is one of the major key, right? So anytime you speak, make sure people get to understand you. Yeah? And, like we have a lot of institutions here. Many times you see the kind of the person who is persons who are there representing. Yeah?
Yeah, we're listening.
I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, yeah?
But you're talking education. I mean, I think there has been a fair amount, and no amount of education can be too much. And sometimes we think that we have said enough for people to understand. But the way we say it and how we explain it, sometimes it goes over the head of people. I'm getting your point. So we need just to continue all the time.
Many times you see media, like Facebook stuff is actually blowing it away, in the sense that you can't control that is how it is being done today. But the media people, we have so much media here in Grenada. But which is legitimate? Which one speak? Which one go out to teach or make sure people understand? Everybody just is for much entertainment. It's not an entertainment.
Yeah, I get you. I get
because back in times when you had radio frequency, whatever, come down. When they used to do broadcasting, they could have fully, they have you on the way that you could, people have, they take that from that angle, that is well. But now we have so many media houses. Yeah, so many, and everybody saying something different about the same story. Yeah. So what you, at the end of the day, what normally do happen is that you mislead people.
Yeah.
Yeah, mislead people. I mean, there was a story some time ago, not too long, regarding somebody. Probably you want to be opposition. People go, yeah, you go to somebody's house, you pay respect. What is the big thing about media? What is the point you're trying to prove? Yeah.
So you get,
you know, it is, you know, it's every little thing you push politics. This should not be the case.
Yeah.
You know, that's not everything has everything has its time and place.
Yes.
Yeah. So everything, anytime you hit media, you know, like at the end of the day, I see NNP is marketing excellent. You know, you have to see and do things that you could market what you have. Yeah.
Well, we are happy for your comments and your opinions, and we take it on board. Yes, we need to continue to interact with people.
The main thing our people need, and to be honest with you, at the end of the day, yeah, when you empower people with education, you will have a brighter nation.
Yep.
Yeah?
Absolutely true.
That's the best thing. You could give somebody $1 million. For me, it doesn't make any sense. But if you teach somebody how to earn $1 million, they will earn millions and not millions.
Quite true. Teach a man to fish as opposed to giving him a fish every day.
Yeah, so I hope on one day the government will sit down just to have different strategies of promoting the education, bring the people forward, make sure everything, the people understand. So at the end of the day, when you want to do something, people don't have a negative approach to what you intend to do, or make sure you understand, fully aware that exactly what is going on, yeah?
Well, they have been doing some of that. I must agree that in recent times, you know, the COVID itself had kept them away, but in recent times, I think over the last month, they have been having a series of consultation at various areas called Prime Minister Meeting the Constituents, and I've followed them up. They have been live on Facebook and other places, but GIS has been bringing it live. And in every case, there had been over 100 people attending, fully masked and obeying the protocols, and they've been discussing a lot of issues. Now, it can't be one-off, but one of the things we have to take on board as you speak about educating people and getting them to understand, the learning curve for people are different. Some people accept and adapt things and understand things quicker than others. That is why it needs to be continuous. That's why you need to repeat certain things you do before. Because the pace at which you and I may pick up something and understand it may not be the same way for our neighbor or our friend down the road or our friend up the road. So it's a constant thing. So I agree with you. More education regularly, all the time, so people get a better understanding overall.
If you, for example, like the media itself. Now, I'm not a media person, but common sense prevail. I have been there in the same office with somebody else for quite some time. And, you know, it's like, you have to know what you're going into.
Yes.
Yeah? Just say things. You know, listening to the currently elected people in the U.S. when they was making such, they never go back. They cover over here, and they are somebody others throwing words, but they never go back to that. Yeah, they go forward.
Yes.
So these are the things that we have to learn and teach our young generation. I mean, the elder generation, you can't reinforce much of it, but the younger ones, and I hope they put more and more on a daily basis, because sometimes you see, like, if the politics is dying, because you want to see at the end of the day more and more people come out and vote, not less. Yeah?
Good.
And it's how you get across to them.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
so I hope more emphasis are being put, you know, on a continuous basis for people to understand exactly what you are about and what you are about to say, wherever you're about to say.
Okay.
Opposition is the whole. Yeah.
So we thank you again for your comments. We thank you for your thoughts. And you are welcome all the time, anytime to have a conversation with us. Thanks. Good day to you. Yep. So the conversation continues. We have case 31 and 32. And people are having different opinions about what to do and who to be blamed. And so I think it's about utilizing the situation, the present day situation. As our earlier caller said, and let's become very rational about what is happening. I'd said sometime before, I think when it was case 25, I did make mention on this very program that some people take Grenada for granted. We're small, we're a third world, still underdeveloped. Yes, there's another caller. Good morning, caller, and thank you for calling.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Oh, you hear me, sir?
Very clear. Very, very
All
clear.
right, music girlfriend from you to forget.
From
I
Paul.
don't know my voice. But you
Oh, Don Formlin. Yeah, I make all the voice, man. Don Formlin. Yeah.
I want to know when is my Prime Minister birthday. Can you see Iris? I like my son. I'm studying Iris. Because Iris studying me.
I think it is on Thursday of this week.
Everything broke and everything wrong to me. And nobody thinking about me. I like my Prime Minister. And I want to know when is his birthday.
I think it's Thursday of this week. I have to verify that for you. I think this Thursday, yes. I think it's Thursday.
Thursday, I have to celebrate. I don't know if he'll come by me.
I don't know either. I can't tell if he'll come by you.
And he knows me good. Get me the girlfriend, but he doesn't help me now.
Oh, God. You and him go talk about that, man.
But me still love me.
Yeah.
And that's why I just vote. And that's why I vote. I don't vote for all of these now. All the ministers are nice.
Yeah. All the ministers nice. All the ministers are nice. Maybe you don't experience the niceness of them yet.
I make my teacher now, my son already, I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I need the money, and I can't get money.
You won't get money, man. Take your time, man.
I just bamble.
No. The system, the wheels of the system turn slowly. The wheels of the system turn slowly. Be patient. Take your time. Continue to talk to your representative. I don't know. Listen to me on the phone, not on the radio. Listen on the phone.
Anyhow, I don't know what you say, but I just make sure I put that thing credit on my phone so I could wish my darling Prime Minister happy birthday. Kiss me.
All right, I hear you, my dear.
But take care, darling.
You be good too. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Bye. Yes, as I was saying, the conversation continues. There's another caller. Please, good morning. Thank you for calling. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for calling us.
I do believe the home quarantine should be removed, and any coming in, there should be advance charge for taking the quarantine before and spend the 7 days. There should be charge and no amount you have to pay before the quarantine, and let it pay it and take quarantine and then release themselves.
All right, we agree with you, but I want you to know that they do know it because they have to make the arrangement with the approved places. Excuse me, book. They stay.
If they're coming in and they're breaking the law.
Right, I agree.
If they're breaking the law, then they have to pay money up front.
Yes.
So then they go know where they go keep themselves one place.
Right. Because now it will cost the government money to go and do the contact tracing.
Government money.
Yes, they have to send people out now.
If you want to be home quarantine,
yes,
and you're breaking the law, and it's not first time, many coming in and more good with still.
Yes.
And it's not to say foreigners, Grenadians.
Yeah.
So when they come in at the airport, they will have to sign to what they have to sign for and pay money up front before the quarantine and public places.
Okay. I get your point. Thank you for that contribution. And as that caller injected, every time that is done and the government has to do what is called now the contract tracing, it costs the government, it costs the taxpayers to send people out there and to find all these people now that they have been, that the infected individuals have been in contact with, and to isolate all of these people, because if you don't, you may find others getting it. We do have another caller. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning.
And how are you, sir?
Hi there, man.
Very well. Good to hear you.
Mutabola.
Sir. You have to load down your radio. Turn down the volume of your radio and listen on the phone.
Yes, sir?
Yes.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, we're hearing you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. We are hearing you very well, very clear.
Well, I hear you too.
Good, good.
Yeah, so how things otherwise?
Well, we're there. We're checking it one day at a time and looking at the situation.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't call, but my call doesn't go through.
Oh, well, I don't know. Sometimes we do have like a technical problems, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, from time to time. But you get through today. That's nice.
So Mr. Bola, how the COVID thing going?
Well, now there are 2 new cases that they have just found again. 2 people.
What branch is that?
2 people, but it's people who are coming from abroad. It's a doctor and his wife from the USA. They would have them quarantined now, and that's what we're discussing. You know, how can government better strengthen the?
I don't like to hear that, you know.
Well, so far so good.
Because we are right here for the time being.
We are all right for the time being and trying to keep control. There are a few people that are trying to do things that are not in keeping with the law.
No joking, no, sir.
Yeah.
No joking, no.
Yeah. So
I don't meet up some of them through tongue.
Yes.
Without no mask, nothing.
Yes. Yes.
And they want to come close to you and talk.
Yes.
It's a pity I don't put on my mask, women.
We have to.
How we are going to have it?
Once you live in your house,
that's
it's
right,
advisable that you go with it, that you walk with it, that you keep it on, because you need to protect yourself and protect your family.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can catch it and maybe bring it back home. Who knows? Your wife, your children, anybody.
Feel like you go in town and make a lime.
Yes.
And you don't have it on. You don't know if you catch it or not.
Not at all.
So you're coming home.
Yes.
And everybody could get it home.
Yes.
So we have to be careful, yes.
Extremely careful.
Yes.
Follow the rules all the time.
All
Listen
the
to
time.
what the health people tell you to do. You do it. And, you know, we obey the laws and things can run smoothly.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Something I want to ask you, sir.
Tell me.
Well, next year make us 3 years. Not next coming out.
In terms of when you say
March next year, the 13th.
Yes.
Nothing coming out. We don't have it, nothing.
Well, not yet. I can't say yet.
But you can say, but I say, let me just ask.
Yeah, and the reason why I can't say is not that they're not planning, but again, it all depends on the situation with COVID.
Yes.
If we are able to come together in any celebration, or if we are, you know, the better things get as it relates to COVID, and the more they ease up things, the more then we can gather and do things like that. So it's kind of early to say, but keep your fingers crossed. Once something is going to happen, we will know in time.
I know we're going to know at the station.
Yes.
And the next thing I want to ask you, when you say the birthday?
On Thursday, I believe. Thursday of this week.
I'm wishing him happy birthday from all now.
From now, yes.
And sir, I predict in the States, Biden going to win.
Yes.
And I tell them in tongue, just the same when Biden beat Trump, just so them in the again leaks here too. So what did they marvel at me, you know?
Yes.
What did they say about you good?
Yeah, you can predict well.
Yeah, well again, I tell them that long before, Biden going to win.
Yes.
And I was praying for you win too.
Okay.
Because, sir, I see Trump as a leader.
Well, he hasn't impressed a lot of people around the world.
No joke about that.
He was not one of the best as a leader.
Yep.
He has his people who likes him, though.
Yeah. What I learned from what they saying of what the world laughing at America.
Yeah.
And well as they are so humble, but they laughing now.
Yes.
But right now they will laugh again.
Do you think they get a good enough person to make things happen?
I believe so, sir.
Well, we have to wait and see. I wish them the best, though. I wish them the very best. I believe in
good for the country.
Yes, I wish them the very best. Because if they're doing well, we will do well in Grenada. Because there are so many Grenadians who are in the U.S., who work and send, repatriate funds and other things for the family. And if living is good for them and jobs are being created and they're earning and making money, their family and relatives back here will benefit and, by extension, the country will benefit.
And you know what? And you know what I like him for and what I predict in him and seeing in him?
Yes.
He mean good for the people. He all time tell them where they must.
Good.
But But Trump used to laugh at him, and Trump saying he all time have a big mouth in his face and all them type of thing, you know.
Well, we saw the news. We all saw the news.
The man's sick. He's more than sick.
Well, he too we had to pray for so that he can be a better person.
Well, so I don't see in it now.
Well, I don't know. We leave it up in God's hand.
Yes, yeah.
We have to leave it in God's hand.
I believe God try already with him, and he can make. You laughing?
Well, I don't know. You say God try and he can't make it. If God can't make it with you, then you don't know. Nobody else can make it. I hear you, Brother Bullman. I hear you. It's good to hear you again. It's good to hear you.
Yes,
so
yes.
you
well, a long time I don't call, but I just didn't used to get
through. All right.
Yeah.
You take care of yourself and your family, and we're going to talk again sometime. Thank you for your contribution and your call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we will talk again. Yeah.
Sometime soon.
So all the best, sir.
Have a wonderful day today, man. Take good care. Nice. Yes, well, you know, sometimes some people could be a little bit. Oh, we do have another caller coming in. Good morning, caller, and thank you for calling.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome.
Mr. Carriacou is there.
Well, I didn't call your name this morning, but I say our friends in Carriacou that are hailing out. I ain't call no name. How you doing, bro?
You ain't call no name?
No.
Well, maybe you know my name that right. Listen me.
Yes, I'm listening.
Mr. Curtis Mills.
I'm listening to you. I don't know who tell you to call your name on the radio. I know your name like how I know mine.
Well, I need to know. But Carriacou says to tell you movie dates still,
Holiday still.
Yeah, Carriacou no move. Carriacou looking for you, but you know move
No man, don't worry. No, man. Before the end of the year, I come in and tell you, me and the manager discuss. In fact,
let's discuss already.
The chief himself, about 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, we had a meeting.
Well, that would be very nice, right? So I go happy to see you.
Well, I know I had to come, my boy. As a land, that is the first stop for me.
Yes, man,
when I meet up my people, I say, take me to Mr. Mills. I have to come see you. How was your weekend?
The whole of Carriacou, Mr. Mills in Bel-Air.
Yeah?
Once you say Mr. Mills in Bel-Air, you must find.
I know I will find you. I don't have no worry about that. How was your weekend?
It was fantabulization.
Wow! I don't feel I could remember that word, boy. Fantabulization.
Yes, man.
Are you doing well? You didn't get rain this weekend?
No, well, not to talk about, you know, Mr. Bola.
Okay.
You just drizzle.
I got a little thing by me when I think Saturday night and yesterday during the afternoon.
Thunder roll?
No, I didn't hear the thunder. Maybe it rolled, but I didn't hear it. But we did get a little shower. I said early this morning, I plan to bank a potato Saturday. I plan to bank a potato. I don't know if the moon good or he ain't good, but I plant it. I make the banks and I got the
well, if you watch up and you see they up in the guy up there, he good.
He good? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you're not there, you fall long, you're not good.
Okay. Okay. So we there and we leaving. Your girl is not here. She called us earlier on. She's out of the state. She out of
the island?
Yeah. She had.
But one day she listening, right?
She does. She called us earlier on. She listens every day. She keep in touch with us.
Miss Duncan, how you doing, Mr. Mills in Carriacou?
Yes.
I just wish you were listening.
Yes.
You take care of your good self.
She should be back on air by next week, God's willing. Once
and I'm not good to say advance Christmas to you.
No. She's going to be back. Well, she should be back here long before Christmas. Except she pick up something up there and she get married and settle down and whatnot, and she don't come back.
Something or somebody, which one?
Somebody. You're too smart for me. Somebody. Somebody, not something. Somebody. And you're so right about that. So we're talking about COVID still. I know Carriacou is free. And Carriacou want to remain free from COVID.
Somebody tell me COVID is free to Carriacou.
And I'm glad. I don't want it to reach up there at all.
No, don't say that now. Don't make the thing get vexed.
No. We just had another 2 cases over the weekend. You have
a little something there again?
Yeah, that's number 31 and 32 now.
31 and 32?
Yeah, husband and wife. But,
because you say you don't go to the one and leave the next.
No, you don't go to the one and leave the next.
So you take 2 of them, let them agree with life.
Right, yeah. So they're trying to take care of things and
well,
we discussing that.
You have to be like that, Mr. Bola.
Right. And encouraging people to do what they have to do, continue to wear their masks, don't take chances, because you just never know who may have it or when they may contract it, and you don't want to get it for yourself, yes?
Why 6 is afraid of 7 again?
Why 6 is afraid of 7?
Yeah, why 6 is afraid of 7?
No, but you have me this morning with that one. I ain't lying.
Every day?
Yeah, you catch me with this one today.
Okay, no, 6 is afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9.
You get me this morning.
Get you this morning, that one.
I normally don't have it for you, but okay, I'll keep that one in my mind. According to a good old friend of mine, I will store that in my cabeza.
Yeah, man. Put it on the inside computer so you forget.
So next time when you drop it on me,
you have it in the bag.
Yeah, I have it in the bag for you. As per usual, Mr. Mills, you never stop making us laugh, eh?
Well, so we have to live in peace and happiness.
Yes. So you take care of yourselves. You know,
have a nice day, Mr. Bola.
You be good. Wonderful to hear you. Enjoy the rest of today and the rest of your week.
According to them old people, they see Christmas already?
Not yet, but I hear you coming. I ain't seen it. Yeah, well, I hear you coming.
Oh, well, we're trying to get up for partner up here.
Well, do your thing. Don't sing about me.
I want to make you popular, you know.
I tell you already, Mr. May, don't sing about me.
Well, I want to make you popular. Do something now.
Doing a lot of things. Just that the thing I'm doing, I don't want to sing about it.
Well, tell me what I do and I will sing about it.
We go talk about that next time. We don't have enough time today. We can do so much.
Yeah, because I want to put you on the parang, man. Let's stay on the radio.
I hear you.
Everybody see how good you are.
All right. Take good care, my friend. Have an enjoyable day now.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. Nice. Mr. Mills, Curtis Mills. Our friend out there from Carriacou. Carriacou and Petit Martinique, big up. I know so much is happening in Carriacou these days. We have work going on the Princess Royal Hospital, major reconstruction and repairs on the main clinic, health clinic there in Hillsborough. Millions of dollars on each of them. If it hasn't started yet, soon to start because there was a sword turning ceremony for the Bishop's College. Over $10 million to be spent. The roads are being repaired. You know, a number of things, small drains and little projects. And we're still awaiting the parliamentary rep from Carriacou. She has given undertaking that she would join us one of these days on Hard Talk to expound a little bit on some of the projects that are happening out there. So Carriacou and Petit Martinique, you are never forgotten. You are always part and parcel of the fray of things. But we continue. We had some calls for the morning. If there are still people out there who want to express themselves, who want to give it, and there's another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Hard Talk. We're glad to have you.
Good morning, Mr. Bola. How are you doing?
I'm very well this morning and had a good weekend. How are you?
Oh, nice. I'm good. I'm very good.
Good to hear your voice.
But I just have a vexing issue this morning with these people and them that try to walk out of quarantine. But I find these people and them like it's a deliberate act. I mean, not one restaurant. They went to 4 restaurants.
Yeah, well, I guess
I find this is a deliberate act to infect people, and a doctor at that who should know better. Definitely. I mean, they're supposed to sign a form stating that they may have somebody to buy food or to bring food, or they could have just called a restaurant and order some food.
Well, they do sign a declaration, you know. My understanding is that once they come in, whether they go to a government-approved facility or they are allowed to home quarantine, because to go home, it's not like you come on the airport and you say, okay, I'm going home. You have to apply at least 7 or 8 days before to the Ministry of Health, who are going to inspect your home, inspect the area, and make sure that everything is in compliance with what they want before you get approval to home quarantine. So it's not like when we come and we say, oh, well, we have our house, it's okay. No. You have to apply early.
But
give the ministry time.
They're too deceitful. And for that reason, I hope that the government, that the law would charge them the full amount of the maximum amount of the quarantine, the fee for breaking the quarantine.
Well, that is up to the courts now, eh? Not the government, the courts. The court, the government can bring a case against them for breaching. But the court is
breaching and also endangering people's lives. That is like they're trying to infect the whole island. When you go to 4 restaurants and you don't know how much people the after effect and the meltdown from all these people that you would have come in contact with. Then the next thing is I also hope that they would also charge them with whatever the government has to pay for all these people now that they have to quarantine and test and all of these things. Yep. I hope all of these things they should take responsibility for that. Because these people, that's real carelessness, And then you're still hearing people saying, "Oh, it's the government's fault and it's the system," but the people sign. It's like people want to come here in chains. You reach on the airport and they put chains on you. So for the next 7 or 14 days, you cannot get out of the house. So they chain you in a corner. And somebody come and they drop the food in front there for you, and they go. These people and them, it's a criminal act. It's a criminal act, and it's people out there with good. They said, okay, yes, I'm going to come, I'm going to do this, I'm going to abide by the rules, and then they come here and they just do anything that comes to them to do, they just do it. And I find that the government, the law, I find the court should charge the people a maximum, and they should also look into charging them for all of the expense that the government has to incur because of their negligence. This is too much now.
Well, I don't know.
You enjoy the day.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We appreciate that. I don't know whether or not, in terms of what government has to expend now, because they have to do the contract tracing, they have to do testing of all of the people whom they come into contact with, and who these people, because it's a lot of contact tracing, because they may have gotten into contact with 30 people, as an example. But these 30 people may have been in contact with 60 others. So all of these people have to be found, have to be tested, have to be quarantined for a period to make sure that none of them contracted the virus and so on. And it's at a cost to the government. I don't know if the law contemplated that. What I do know is that you can be charged up to $10,000 for breaking quarantine, for not adhering to that. We'd have to relook the law to see if there's any caveat in the law that speaks to you, the person who have created the situation, whether or not the cost of dealing with the contact tracing and the quarantine and the testing of all the other people who you may have been in contact with, whether you must bear that cost too. So this is something that has to be verified. But I do know that there's a maximum charge of up to $10,000. But then again, it is dependent upon the magistrate or the judge or whoever in the court to determine whether they give you the maximum or part thereof. So while the law is there, and the police officers and other, and the Ministry of Health officials are the enforcers of the legislation, the people who actually hand down and has jurisdiction over what somebody pay or don't pay at all is the courts, and the government has no say in that. So the Minister of Health, the Prime Minister, the Chief Medical Officer, they may be called upon to give a statement on the issue in court, but they cannot determine what the final judgment in the case will be. They are, of course, the officials of the court are guided by what is written in the law, by what the legislation says, but they have their own discretion to determine whether they give you maximum or part thereof. I know a lot of people are saying, give the maximum because they think these people were very careless, that they were carefree, that they did not obey, and they have little regard for the rules and regulations of the country. But also, it shows that when it comes to personal responsibility, for people to take responsibility for their own lives, for their security, and for the security of others, we become very selfish at times. We only think about what, and there was a caller some weeks ago when I think case 25, when that was out there, and I did ask the caller, why do you think people are not willing just to obey the regulations and to stay quarantined for the period that they were asked to, 4 or 5 days until you get back your results, to know whether you are COVID-free or not, and if you are free to move around or if you have to be quarantined for a few days further. And the individual on the other side of the line put it down basically to selfishness, that some people only think about themselves. And in the case of this couple, only thought about how can they go to a restaurant to have food, how can they have an enjoyable time, and totally neglecting the fact that they should be withholding themselves from the public, that they should be isolated from the public, that they should be quarantined for a while until they get the results to determine whether they are positive or not. And they just completely ignored that and was doing something else. So as that caller said some time ago, and I want to agree because this is another case where it's pure selfishness. It's about self. It's about what is appealing and satisfying to me. And absolutely no care about the Grenadian public, absolutely no care and no thought about the documentation that they would have signed, agreeing to isolate themselves, agreeing to be quarantined, agreeing that a breach of that would lead to a charge. And since they signed and they agreed to all of that and they did the complete opposite, I see no reason why the law should not take its course, why the persons in charge and the persons who have that responsibility to supervise and to see that things go according to the law should not use the full arm of the law, as we sometimes say, to get redress in this matter. This is a matter that we cannot allow to go just with a tap on the hand or a slap on the wrist, as is being said most times when you talk about judicial matters. It should not go with just a slap on the wrist, and it should be publicized so that others will know that if and when they come to Grenada, if they should break the law, that it is the same kind of a situation that will be meted out to them. And in no way am I saying that advantage should be taken of anybody, that we should become draconian and dictatorial, but we need to follow the law. Rules and regulations are put in place for us to follow. We need to have a society where law and order must be upheld. And if people are prepared to break the law, then they must be prepared to pay the price, to feel the weight, the penalty that comes with breaking the law, that they are prepared to accept it. And if you're not, then ensure that you follow the law, that you do not break the protocol, that you do not break the law, and thus you would not have any responsibility to be punished or any cause to be punished. So I really, really do think, for the sake of all of us here in Grenada and for the benefit of others who intend to come to Grenada, whether you are a national that was out there on vacation and got trapped and got caught by COVID, or the lockdown in different countries, and you're returning home, or you're coming for vacation, or you are non-national that are returning, you must know what the protocols are. The Ministry of Health has said that all of the protocols, all of the regulations, all of what you need for entry into the country is listed on the various websites. They encourage people to read, to understand, make the necessary arrangements even before you buy your ticket or book your flight, because getting to the airport and saying you did not know is no excuse. That's not an excuse, and you will not be excused because you say, well, I didn't know that I had the quarantine, or I didn't know that I had to book a... All of that is explained in detail, and so people must make sure that they understand that. As a matter of fact, almost every place around the world now, there is some kind of regulations as to how you get there. No longer are people free to just move from one port to the next, from one country to the next, from one airport to the next, without having conditionalities to it. Right now in Europe and some of the European countries, you can't even enter. They are on a second wave, a second stage of lockdown, the UK and France and I think Germany and some of those other places, because they're seeing a different wave in terms. I understand that Denmark, I believe, just this morning I got a little tip of the news saying that they have found a new strain, meaning a different version of the COVID. I think it was Denmark, I want to be I think so, quite certain. So, and we have heard that before, that in different jurisdictions, they are coming up with slightly different strain, that the virus keep mutating itself, and it's becoming harder and harder every time you think that you're making headway. The medical experts think that they're making headway as to how they can deal with and control, trying to find a vaccine. There are several places and companies that are doing testing at the moment, but nothing conclusive and final has been done yet. So we still hope and pray. We do believe that something is going to come sooner than later. But until that happens, until there is something, there's a virus, there's a tablet, there's an injection, whatever it may be, that can protect us from either catching or can even if we catch it, we can take that will heal us instantly or in a couple of days. Until those things come on stream, they're tested and become foolproof, and we know that they can work. We have to just trust ourselves, obey the regulations, and isolate as much as possible, wear our mask, follow the protocol for self and family protection. I should not want to infect you, and I should not expect you to want to infect me. But when all of us practice the preventative things we need to do, we all know that we are protecting ourselves and protecting each other. So, my friends, I believe that a lot has been said on this issue over time in terms of COVID, its protection, how we can stop the spread, how we can protect ourselves, how we can protect our family, the things we should do, the things we shouldn't do, why it is necessary for us to do what we're doing in Grenada, because we have not as much resources as some of the more wealthy countries, some of the more first world countries, who themselves are worried and are burdened. The US, Canada, England, Germany, some of the first world economies. They can't even turn around and help third world countries like us because they are overburdened. The health system is stretched to the limit, almost to bust. In some cases, they can't even accommodate the amount of patients they have. It is in our best interest in Grenada to keep COVID at bay. The less cases we have, the less spread we have, the better it is for us. Our system is small, it is weak. Our health system doesn't have all of what it needs. So if we don't have a mass of people that has to be dealt with medically because of COVID, we are better off. Our government doesn't have the kind of resources to be expending on tests and treatment and all those things. So it is in our best interest as a country to follow the protocol, to do what is right, and to encourage our friends and our family and each other to do likewise. Let's stop this confrontational approach about, oh, the police wanted this and the police wanted that. Let's just obey the rules. Let's just obey the regulation. Let's just ask for explanation if we don't understand. But let's do what is correct so that we won't end up in trouble at the end of the day. My friends, we are winding down. We are getting to the point where we have to get off air. We want to take the opportunity to thank all of those who participated this morning in whatever way. Whether you sent us a message via WhatsApp or Facebook or YouTube, or you just listened and you're going to share what you've heard, the comments from callers, some of the comments that was given this morning was very upfront and dealt with the issue. Or you have called and said something. We appreciate that. We want you to know that what we aim to here on this program on a daily basis is to bring you information that is credible, information that can be fact-checked, information that will make you the wiser and a better person. We want you to continue to join us on a daily basis. I still have not yet been able to conclude whether tomorrow will be on or off. I have been told that the upper house, the Senate, should be sitting tomorrow, God's willing. I've asked the secretary to verify. She has not brought me any information as yet, so maybe she has not yet been able to do so. But if there's the sitting of the Senate, we will be carrying that live, where you can also listen to understand what is happening in the Houses of Parliament, to get an understanding of what bills are being passed and the argument being made. It is important that you do. That is your business to know, to listen to what is happening where for the people. Well, the Senate are those who are selected and not necessarily those who are elected. If that is the case, most likely on Wednesday, maybe post-cabinet briefing, we'll have all of those verified. But if not, you'll definitely be hearing us again come tomorrow, God's willing, and Wednesday, depending on what's happening. I think we do have a guest planned for Thursday and also for Friday. Hope that will come true. But we want to continue the conversation. We want to continue to engage you. We continue to encourage you to be part and parcel, to tune in. Whether you listen to us by radio, we're going island-wide. We are on 5 radio stations, 4 locally and 1 in New York. And the numbers are always available for you to call, to make a comment, to ask a question, to make a query. Or even if you have a condemnation, all we ask you to do is to be respectable in your submission. Do not accuse people of things that you cannot substantiate. And always remember that we'd like to, on this program, be talking to you and talking with you and not about you. So be safe, be secure, follow the protocols, and by God's will, we hope to be with you tomorrow again. Enjoy the rest of Monday, which is turning out to be a wonderful day today, of course. And stay tuned for the National Report. Thank you for being with us today.
Prime Minister says even in the face of the financial challenges, government must invest in the nation's youth. We'll have the details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Friday, November 6, 2020, I'm Delroy Louzan. 750 young people were officially welcomed to the new Imani program during a virtual launch on Friday. This group takes the total number of batches under the program to 7, with hundreds having already transitioned to permanent employment. During his address to the gathering, Prime Minister and Minister for Youth Development, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, stressed the importance of investing in the nation's youth, even during financial and economic challenges posed by the global pandemic. Dr. Mitchell said when government examined the current climate and the way forward, there appeared to be no debate on the sacrifices and investment towards youth development.
This program being implemented with a batch 5, batch 7, over 750 young persons at this time, is a major undertaking on the part of the government and people of the country. As you all are well aware, this is a very unique time in our country's history and probably the world's. On your shoulders lie the future, and some will say the present and future of our country. So that sacrifice being made, as I said at the beginning, you owe us nothing. You owe yourself, my friends.
Minister in the Prime Minister's office responsible for youth development, Honorable Keith Lewis, emphasized that going forward, government will put measures in place to address issues of the past under the program.
We are putting systems in place to ensure our young people are afforded every opportunity to reach their fullest potential. We launch Batch 7 today on the heels of the successes of this program, with a vision for addressing issues that have plagued the program in the past. While we are proud of the 2,952 trainees who have successfully transitioned from the program, we acknowledge that there are those who are still anticipating their transition. Therefore, all plans are in place to begin this process.
The trainees began life skills training on Monday at various centers island-wide. The new Imani program caters to the holistic development of young people between the ages of 18 and 35, creating opportunities for self-development through skills and apprenticeship training. Construction of 600 feet of slipper drain and pavement is underway for Hope Beach in St. Andrew. Located in the eastern part of the island, Hope Beach is one of the go-to spots for relaxation and fun. Parliamentary Representative for St. Andrews South East, Honorable Emmeline Pear, is placing much emphasis on the development of beaches and parks in her constituency. Benches, roads, and kids' playgrounds were part of the investments made by the MP. The Hope Beach Road project costs $148,000 and has created employment for 7 residents. The contractor Adrian Corian highlighted what the project entails.
I have 600 feet of road paving, 600 feet slipper drain to do also. And right now, as you look at it, I'm doing the preparation, trying to lay a good foundation that will get a proper work done, that it should guarantee at least 40 to 50 years before any repair could get done on it. I start laying the BRC from the bottom, come up. Yeah. So I'll do the paving of the road from down to up. And then when I finish pave the road, I'll do the drain from up to go down.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is assisting the Government Information Service in its mandate to improve its program output. Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Oliver Joseph, made a presentation of technological equipment to Information Minister, Honorable Emmeline Pear, on Friday. It included a portable teleprompter, 2 HD televisions, a printer, and a tablet.
This is for the use in GIS to improve the quality of work that is taking place. As we know, GIS have an important role to play, and over the years, they have been suffering from not having the most modern equipment. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs sought to get modern equipment for GIS, and I'm extremely delighted now to hand over to you this updated equipment, and we hope we will see it reflected in the work of GIS in terms of its quality.
Minister Pear is thankful for the contribution, which lend to better quality output.
On behalf of the Director Acting, Ms. Leslie Ann Johnson, and the entire team at GIS, Ministry of Information, to express appreciation. Minister, you're so right that the Government Information Service has such an important role to play ensuring our people are well informed as to what is happening within and outside of government. But more importantly, I think we also have a role in terms of educating the nation. Many areas in which we think our people need to be educated, we have that public service responsibility for education as well. And at the community level, we want to do even more in terms of capturing what is happening in our communities. So providing a service within our community, ensuring our people can look and see their faces. So I want to say how much this would go a very long way. And we want to also encourage you to seek far more support, additional support, because the more you provide is the more we would do, and the more we provide quality service to the government through the Government Information Service.
This is the National Report. Stay with us. We'll have more news in just a moment.
Grenada, spice of the Caribbean, is one of the most beautiful and authentic islands. Our people are so friendly and sweet.
Hey, hold up. I bet everything, boss. We are Mai, Snapper, Big Jacks. We even have Lambia lobster.
Come in. Like you a mobile fish market.
Partner, we had to step up the game in this COVID times. We have premium fish. We don't have to go in a line. We come and drop it right at your doorstep.
My brother, necessity is the mother of invention. And this too shall pass.
Give me a COVID bounce on that, man. This too shall pass. We can't wait to start delivering our premium cuts to the hotel.
I am a chef, and I can't wait to do our best dishes for our guests. But in the meantime, I spin in my hand with daily lunches, and on weekends, I set up a little grab and go.
Nice.
Give me 2 lobster and 15 pounds of mai.
No problem, no problem.
Hey, vacuum packaging. I like that touch. I see you guys ready for when things pick up again.
Sure thing, man. Well, we're making a move again. So, I will pass by one of these weekends again. I will see you later. Well, on the move.
Stay strong. We in this together.
Shooting. Tourism is all our business, and we have to play our part. Driver.
Tourism connects us all.
Welcome back. An industry-changing project in the northeastern corner of the island with a view of the Atlantic Ocean aims to be one of the most significant rum distilleries in the Caribbean. This new venture uses premium drought-resistant varieties of sugarcane, which have been selected for their suitability to the island's climate and soil to produce an estimated 1 million liters of spirits each year through the cultivation of more than 200 acres of agricultural land and provision of hundreds of jobs for locals. Minister for Agriculture, Forestry and Lands, Honorable Peter David, was introduced to the potential of the sugarcane industry when he recently visited the Carriacou headquarters in Meadows, St. Andrew.
You travel down to the south, you travel to the east, to the west, you see the cane fields. In fact, I know there are many farmers in Grenada who told me years ago that there's potential in the cane industry still. Renegade has come and proved that that is correct. I want to congratulate them on the achievement. I want to thank them for choosing Grenada to do such a wonderful product.
Honorable David, who assumed the role of Minister for Agriculture in October, underscored the significance of this project and the extent of its contribution to the country's economy.
It also tells our farmers that we can add value to our raw materials. You know, we've always spoken about adding more value, more processing. This is an example of that kind of processing. So I want to say to the developers, thanks again. I want to urge other persons in other sectors to do the same thing. Because if we do things like this, then we'll be getting, rather than exporting raw materials and importing the manufactured goods, we'll be exporting the manufactured goods and getting all of the value that can be got from doing that. So again, this amazing factory here, producing an amazing product, is the kind of thing I would like to see as Minister for Agriculture in more sectors in Grenada.
Agricultural lands from River and Twine in the north to Westerhall in the south will be cultivated with sugarcane for this venture. Renegade Rum Distillery looks forward to being fully functional in 2021. And finally in the news, the Grenada Tourism Authority and Sandals Grenada Resort collaborate to train local certified accommodation stakeholders in implementing platinum protocols of cleanliness within housekeeping and other operations. The program has been implemented throughout 24 properties with added health and well-being requirements across all points of contact. 3 training sessions have been completed to date, and over 100 housekeeping staff and other personnel trained. Product Development and Research Manager of the GTA, Curl Hoshtialik, highlighted the importance of the sessions.
It is really important for us as a destination right now to ensure that the stakeholders across the board, that we all are doing things to the same standard. And that is a way in which we can safeguard ourselves and we can safeguard our visitors. We're in the process of reopening, and it really is about that shared responsibility that we both have to make sure that this works and that we work better, we work smarter. The new evolving visitor, I tell you what they want. This new evolving visitor, they want digital, they want contactless, they want paperless, but guess what? They expect us to have more care and attention to everything. Top of the level hygiene. This is what their expectations are. And if it means that Grenada as a destination has to meet that demand, we have to be ready.
Sheena Williams, Training and Development Manager at Sandals Grenada Resort and Spa, presented the platinum protocols. She also explained the cleaning of high touchpoint areas for which 18 points have been selected.
The guest suite has 12 touchpoint areas. So we have the in-room bars and